This is the most beautiful car in the world. It's not just a practicality machine. This was a woman in a car form. It's the car that every young boy just dreams of owning. I'm Ali. I own a 1968 Jaguar E-Type, Series 1.5.
You could have any car in the world. Why would you choose this one?
I remember being a kid and seeing these things drive by, and I think, wow, I could have one someday, and always wanted an E-Type. And then there was this cool factor of like James Bond car. So that layered into it. And then as an adult, I needed a machine that reminds me that it's a machine. You know?
What do you mean by that? I think that's a cool statement.
Well, so when I got this thing, I thought to myself, I'm now Steve McQueen. I'm going to drive my Jag. Doesn't work like that. This thing is trying to kill you. The men of the past knew how to drive because these machines required so many senses. The steering doesn't work very well, the brakes don't work very well, the lights don't work very well. The car just isn't engineered very well because that's the technology we had back then. It wasn't just, you weren't padded from the environment. And I needed that. And so because of our generation being used to this great technology, you forget when you get in this thing that, wow, I really have to be aware.
And this is kind of a retreat to how we were made.
Yeah, it actually grounds me that way. You know what it is? It's camping on wheels.
That's great.
This is.
It's camping. It's rugged,
yeah,
right?
It reminds you that, you have to fight to stay alive. I live in a world where I can't trick the car anymore. It's a super machine. And the juxtaposition of this with the car that I drive on a daily basis is just, it reminds me that I'm flesh.
This is considered one of the great motoring icons in all of automotive history. And we're driving it today. And this is awesome. Now, this car came out in 1961 at the Geneva Motor Show, and Enzo Ferrari, yes, that guy, said this is the best looking car ever made. Now, the drive of this car is very specific. The steering wheel, a little flimsy, is real wood, and it may as well have little spires coming out so that you can, because there's quite a bit of play in the wheel. So that is worth keeping in mind. Just the feel of the clutch, the brakes, and the accelerator are unlike anything I've ever experienced. The accelerator is just, it's like pushing a brick. I'm like, oh, I must be pushing against some heavy piece of metal. No, this is just the accelerator. You have to really push it. You gotta get it. And then when you do, it's got that great note. How did you go about acquiring it?
Found it on eBay. The first owner was an attorney in Toluca Lake. He said, make sure you drive it, because this is a driver. This is not something that goes in a museum. This one is a survivor. And so he bought it in 1968, and then he sold it sometime in the, I think, early 80s to this next